everybody. I'm E.W. Brooks. I'm an author, screenwriter, filmmaker, mother, and wife. Relationships mean everything. Relationships are, what keeps you safe and fulfilled as a person, and relationships are the things that see you through your business situations. Good or bad, relationships are going to propel you one way or another into your future. Relationships are important because it kind of determines the vibe and the energy you put out. So the way I see it, there are different levels of relationships. You have the relationship that you have with your significant other, with your child, the relationships within your home. When those are strong, especially when you're in business, that allows you to do what you need to do in relationships that are outside of the home. So once you have that relationship at home that's in place and secure, that propels you to go outside in the world and be able to go away on business for days and weeks at a time, because you know that your family is supporting what you do in those relationships. And then from there, that gives you the strength and the esteem and the support to be able to go out and flourish and meet other people and do what you need to do to make your business thrive. Without those things put into place, if you're on a shaky foundation, I think it propels you to go into shaky business. So it's always good to make sure that situation at home is secure first. As an author and a screenwriter, networking is super important. And when you go somewhere to network with somebody, what you're doing is simply building a relationship with people you don't know. And doing that, for me, has always just been going up to somebody with my natural country southern self and being who I am. I haven't done very well with being anybody other than who I am. I remember early on, someone I had a relationship with, a mentor was, hey, you need to get rid of that southern drawl, and you need to, shape yourself up and, and speak more eloquently, and this will get you in more rooms. And I spoke to my grandmother, because mind you, it's all about relationships, and she was like, girl, be who you are. You know who you are on the inside, and as long as that shines through, the relationships that you need will come to you. And that has been the most valuable piece of information, the most valuable piece of just knowledge, old school knowledge that I've gotten going forward. So I can say that the valuable relationships that I have and that I maintain in business are from me just being me, country drawl and all. When I began my writing process, relationships definitely play a part, because when you're an author or any kind of creative, whether you realize it or not, whatever you're writing, whatever you're doing is pulling off of some relationship that you've seen or that you've been in. So exposing yourself to, diverse relationships with different types of people with different backgrounds, is always going to give you a more, a bigger pool of information to pull from when you begin your writing process. So just knowing and understanding diverse people has been super important to me. And being a military wife has opened me up to meet a plethora of people that I wouldn't have met before. And then I learned about lifestyles and cultures and in places where I had no knowledge before. So I think that helps me to be a stronger writer. It helps me to be a stronger creative, and things like that are important from a creative standpoint. And then from just a standpoint of being a wife and a mother, I talked in the beginning about having that strong foundation at home. As a creative, you have to literally separate yourself from your family to mentally go into this space to be able to write. So you have to have a relationship with your family to the point that they know, hey, mommy's got to step away for a few hours because I need to go write. Because you can't focus with, all of these outside distractions. Just like now we're doing an interview, but I have to have my husband support me enough to go, talk to my son so that he's not screaming while I'm trying to do this interview. So you can't do that without a support system. So relationships are important. They start at home and then they blossom outward. When it comes to building relationships, one of the things that was hardest for me to learn, but most important to know, is if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. As a professional, as a mother, I have spent so much time away from my family, doing things that didn't push me in the direction I needed to go, doing things that were distractions compared to where I wanted to be. So in building relationships, understand that it's okay to know people, but it's also okay to say no to people in the process of building relationships. Because if you don't have the time to do the things that you need to do to get you where you need to go. It doesn't matter how many relationships you have. Doesn't matter how many, celebrities or how many, people in your industry that can help you in your phone. You won't be able to get to that next level of success because you won't have done the work that you need to do to be there. So in building relationships, you have to be a little selfish. Like when you start to seek out networking opportunities and as a writer, as a screenmaker, as a screenwriter, as a filmmaker, you go to film festivals, you go to these writing events. Know who you want to see before you go. Know what you want to tell them before you get there, and know what you need. And it's not about being selfish. It's not about using people, because in a perfect world, when you approach these people, it's going to be a mutual exchange. You're going to expect something, but you're going to have something to give. So know what you have to give as well. And if you're seeking it, like if you formed a relationship with somebody and it doesn't meet that criteria, it's okay. But know when it doesn't add value to where you're trying to go, when it doesn't add value to you as a person, when it takes value from your family, that may not be the relationship you need to pursue. My name is E.W. Brooks. I am an 8-time author, 2-time award-winning filmmaker. I've written the Mafia series, where my film was based upon my book. I've also won an award for my short film Blind. In addition to the Mafia series, I've written a book called Legacy and another series of books called Envy and Eye Candy. You can find me just by going to mafia.com, and I am building positive relationships.